They all wanted her dead.
Why don't you just die?
You want me dead? Wrong answer.
Cecilia! You're not walking out.
He brought a gun to a wedding. She brought a death wish.
Shoot. Or put it down. Your choice. You had one bullet. You missed. He's all yours. Choke on him.
After Alexander's childhood friend died, he hated me for 10 whole years. The day after our wedding, he applied to the Federal Military Command to be posted to the northern border outpost. For 10 years, I sent countless letters, trying to please him in every way, but the only reply I ever received was a single sentence. If you really feel guilty, you might as well die quickly. But when I was kidnapped by bandits, he came alone into the den, took several bullets, and saved me. Just before he died, with his last ounce of strength, he fiercely pushed my hand away.
In this life, my greatest regret is marrying you. If there is a next life, please, don't come and haunt me again.
At his funeral, Alexander's mother wept bitterly.
Boy, it's Mother's fault. Mother shouldn't have forced you.
You killed Isabella, and now you've killed my son, you jinx! Why don't you just die?
Even the commander, who had once been so eager to arrange our marriage, sighed and shook his head.
I shouldn't have played matchmaker. I've wronged Comrade Warren.
Everyone mourned for Alexander. Including me. I was expelled from the organization. That night, I swallowed poison and died in an abandoned field. When I opened my eyes again, I had returned to the eve of our wedding. This time, I decided to grant everyone their wish.
Cecilia West, don't think that just because you used your military achievements to force me into marrying you, I will ever love you. Impossible.
After 10 years, I heard that familiar mockery again. There stood Alexander Warren in the prime of his youth, alive right in front of me. He looked so dashing in his military uniform, but the undisguised sarcasm in his eyes stung my heart. I wasn't dead. I had returned to 10 years ago.
Are you deaf? I said, sign it!
I understand. I know that the person you love is Isabel Clark. The person you want to marry is her, right?
So what if you know? I warn you, don't try any tricks behind my back.
I will make it happen for you.
I don't have time to listen to your nonsense. Hurry up and sign. The commander needs this for the files.
He tossed the application form the commander had approved to me, then turned and left. Watching his disappearing back, my heart ached as if pricked by needles. In my past life, I truly loved him to madness. Just because he had once risked his life to save me, even his parents said,
"Our boy has a sharp tongue but a soft heart. If he didn't like you, why would he have risked his life to save you?"
But after the wedding, I realized how terribly wrong I was. When he learned that Isabel had committed suicide, Alexander immediately applied for a transfer to the northern border outpost. He left me alone to waste 10 years of my youth, only to end up abandoned by everyone and reviled by all. I remember clearly when I secretly went to visit him at the border outpost. I overheard him.
I shouldn't have married Cecilia. I shouldn't have listened to my parents' stubborn opinions. And I definitely shouldn't have failed to be by Isabel's side when she needed me most. I regret it so much.
So it turned out that my 10 years of loving him had also been 10 years of tormenting him. The thing he should never have done, above all else, was to meet me. Fortunately, heaven gave me a chance to start over. This time, I would not let him die because of me. I would grant his wish, as repayment for saving my life in the past life. After that was settled, we would go our separate ways. For the rest of my life, no more entanglement. Then I went to the gate, ready to get into the car. Alexander instinctively reached to take the application form from me.
Give it here.
But I dodged him.
I'll give it the commander for filing. You're busy, so I'll do it.
What's gotten into you today?
Never mind, do what you want.
He looked at me suspiciously. After we got in the car, neither of us spoke. It was a comfortable silence. Perhaps the calm made him uneasy. After a couple of coughs, he actually spoke first.
I hear the Arts Corps has a performance tonight. If nothing comes up in the unit, I'll take you to see it.
I looked at him with mild surprise. In the previous life,
I'm marrying you because my parents are pushing me, not so we can play at romance. You'd better remember that.
so this time I had kept quiet. Seeing me lost in thought, his brow showed displeasure.
Forget it if you don't want to go.
Yes!
I interrupted him.
Of course I want to go.
Seeing the smile I couldn't quite suppress, he opened his mouth as if to say something, but in the end, he silently started the car.
Then wait for me after dinner.
Captain Warren! Isabella! Something's happened to her!
I'll go see. You go back by yourself.
Comrade Isabella.
I nodded gently.
Okay, go ahead.
His body stiffened.
You're not jealous?
My heart was bitter.
Whatever trick you're trying to play, you better rent it in.
He turned and hurried away. He didn't notice the bitterness and loss in my eyes at all. In both past and present lives, I had never once tried to stop him from doting on Isabel. I knew that was something I could never ask for. I went back alone. As soon as I entered my house, Mrs. Warren from next door heard the noise and enthusiastically called out to me.
Cecilia! Did the commander's approval come through? Where's Alexander? Why didn't that rascal come back with you?
He was called away on urgent military business.
Is work more important than cherishing his wife? When he gets back, I'll give him a piece of my mind.
That boy is getting worse and worse, Cecilia. Please don't take it to heart.
My eyes stung with tears. For 10 full years, I had never seen such a warm picture again. If it hadn't been for Alexander turning against them, because of me in the previous life, they would have always treated me like a daughter. I wanted to tell them the truth, but I couldn't bring myself to say the words. Finally, I took Mrs. Warren's hand and said softly,
Thank you and Uncle for taking care of me all these years.
Silly child, what repay? I'm just so happy that you can marry my son.
The soup on the stove is almost ready.
I said nothing more. In this life, I would no longer be Alexander's wife. That way, he wouldn't have to settle for less. He could pursue the one he loved, live freely, and be himself. And his parents wouldn't be resented by their own child for breaking up a true love. I bought a ticket and went to the Arts Corps Theater. But even after the performance ended, Alexander never appeared. I knew he had broken his promise again. I wasn't angry.
I haven't seen such a blue sky in a long time.
I felt a deep nostalgia. Suddenly,
Cecilia West, you vile rest. You deliberately sent someone to humiliate Isabella. She was so frightened she hurt herself. I've already agreed to marry you. What more do you want? Are you only happy when she's dead?
he couldn't contain his rage and slapped me again. I didn't even have a chance to speak before he dragged me into the car. At the medical station, I saw Isabel lying pale in a hospital room. Blood was seeping through the gauze on her wrists. Clearly, the suicide attempt was no rumor. When I entered, she had her eyes tightly shut, but kept mumbling. Before I could ask anything, Alexander shoved me hardly.
Look at what you've done! Apologize to Isabella right now!
I stared at him blankly.
But it wasn't me.
You're lying!
Luckily, a nurse came in, or he might have hit me again in front of everyone.
The patient has lost too much blood. She needs an immediate transfusion. Her blood type is AB. Do we have...
She's AB type 2. Take hers.
So that's why you brought me here.
He knew perfectly well that I had been weak and anemic since childhood. A sudden blood draw could hurt me.
This is what you owe her.
Alexander,
I looked up at Alexander.
have you ever, even for a moment, regretted saving me back then?
No. No matter who it was that day, I would have saved them.
I smiled, turned my head away, and let him not see the tears streaming down my cheeks. The nurse pulled out the needle. I stood up. Alexander instinctively reached to support me, but I gently pushed him away.
Alexander, I won't bother you anymore. I'll let you go, and I'll let myself go.
In this second life, I finally understood that we were like two vines covered in thorns. The closer we twined, the more we wounded each other. Only when we were utterly exhausted did we realize, from the very beginning, we should never have met.
Cecilia! What do you mean, let go? We're about to get married,
Before he could finish, a nurse trotted over.
Captain Warren, Miss Clark is awake. She's crying and asking for you.
Alexander frowned, looking troubled, and glanced at me. I just gave him a faint smile.
Go ahead. The patient comes first.
His expression was strange, but he stood up.
I'll be right back. Wait here, I'll take you home later.
I didn't answer. I just watched him stride away and thought silently.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have appeared in your world.
Alexander, for the rest of your life, may you be safe and happy. In the other hospital room, Alexander was feeding Isabel some porridge when a sudden, inexplicable restlessness came over him. It felt as though something important was slipping away from him. He put down the bowl and was about to leave, but Isabel grabbed his wrist.
Alexander, I'm so scared. Will you stay with me?
Her frail, helpless look stirred pity in Alexander's heart. Without hesitation, he gently held her hand in return. Isabel, don't be afraid. I'm here. Isabel snuggled into his arms, and her boneless hand gently slipped down his body. Alexander's breathing grew heavy. He wanted to stop her, but instead, he unbuckled his belt. The lights went out, and they became lost in passion. Just as their desire peaked, the door suddenly opened.
Captain Warren, your parents called. They said something's happened at home.
The young nurse quickly turned away. Alexander hurriedly dressed, and warned the nurse not to speak of what she'd seen. Then he rushed home. But when he pushed open the door, he saw his parents standing in the yard of Cecilia's house, holding a letter, their faces grief-stricken. Alexander's heart sank.
Mom, Dad, what are you doing here? Where's Cecilia West?
Mrs. Warren's eyes were red. She glared at him fiercely.
How dare you show your face! It's all your fault, you beast! Carrying on with that Isabel Clark. Cecilia West left a letter and walked out!
Alexander's face went ashen. He recalled all the strange things she had said lately, the look in her eyes, a dull pain twisted in his heart. The truth was, he didn't dislike Cecilia. He even had feelings for her. But he resented his parents' pressure and refused to give in. Even so, he kept up his harsh front.
She's really taken this act too far. If you do something wrong, you have to pay the price. Does she think she can just run away to make up for what she did? Isabel Clark almost died because of her.
Mr. Warren trembled with rage. You beast. On the basis of one-sided words, you drove Cecilia away. You, just then, an orderly rushed in.
Captain Alexander Warren! The bridge out of the mountain has collapsed! We need rescue teams!
Alexander set aside everything else and left with the orderly. Rescue teams converged on the disaster site. Alexander arrived and immediately threw himself into the rescue work. Pushing aside a pile of rubble, he spotted a familiar-looking backpack. He tugged at it gently, and an identification card slipped out. He looked at it and froze. He felt as if he'd been struck by lightning. He stepped back, as if the person buried under the rubble was a monster. How could this be?
Why is Cecilia West here?
Impossible. He rushed forward like a madman, trying to dig out the person beneath the rubble. But then there was a roar, and the car crushed under the rubble burst into flames.
It's going to explode! Get back!
The orderly dragged Alexander away by force. They had barely retreated when a deafening explosion erupted. Alexander stood there as if his soul had been ripped out, staring blankly at the inferno.
No. Cecilia West must be all right.
She still owed him a wedding. How could she just die? Alexander didn't remember how he got home. When the orderly pushed open the door, he spoke.
Captain Alexander Warren, we've confirmed it.
At the time of the bridge collapse, a car was crossing. Miss West, she was in that car. He handed Alexander a simple death certificate and a returned marriage application. Alexander took them numbly. But when he saw the name written on the application, Isabel Clark, his pupils dilated sharply. He murmured in disbelief, "No, impossible, she loved me so much." Tears rolled down his face and fell onto the marriage form, blurring the bright red stamp. The thin sheet of paper in his hand suddenly felt as heavy as 1,000 pounds. He couldn't hold back. He coughed up a mouthful of blood and collapsed onto the bed. Alexander had a very, very long dream. In the dream, Cecilia didn't die. They went through with the wedding. But married life was not happy. In the dream, he refused to see Cecilia, all because she had caused the death of the woman he loved, Isabel. They wasted 10 years. Finally, when he learned that Cecilia had been kidnapped, in the dream he didn't hesitate to risk his life to save her, exchanging his own life for hers.
If there is a next life, I hope you won't pester me again.
Alexander's eyes flew wide open. He didn't understand why he had said such a thing. Watching Cecilia's eyes dim little by little, watching her, being blamed by his parents and everyone around her, Alexander's heart twisted in agony. In the following days, Alexander went through the motions of arranging Cecilia's funeral. On the tombstone, he engraved the words, "Beloved wife of Alexander Warren." He began to train obsessively, taking on every dangerous mission available. He always led from the front, always charging first. His body became covered with wounds. Every time he woke from a coma, he regretted not having died. During his recovery, he locked himself in his room and drowned himself in alcohol. He didn't dare to die. He knew he had no right to face Cecilia. Mrs. Warren couldn't stand it anymore. She pointed at him and yelled,
Cecilia West suffered so much for you, bore so much, and still protected you and went along with you in everything. And you? What did you do?
Now that she's dead, you're full of regrets. Who are you putting on this pathetic act for?
but Alexander couldn't hear her. He just sat there, head bowed, tears streaming down his face. Then Isabel showed up. She put on a sympathetic look and consoled Alexander with reddened eyes.
Alexander, the dead are gone. Those of us who are alive must live well.
Mrs. Warren gave her a vicious glare.
If it weren't for you, Vaxi, luring my son away, Cecilia West would never have left.
Now you come here pretending to care. Get out! You're not welcome!
Isabel lowered her head.
Auntie, I came only because I want Alexander Warren to get better. I have no other intention. Why do you have to get so angry over a dead person?
When Alexander heard the words, dead person, his hollow eyes finally showed some life. He suddenly stood up, grabbed Isabel by the throat, and let out an animalistic roar.
You shut up!
Alexander Warren, what are you doing?
You always said I was the one you loved.
Now that Cecilia West is dead, no one is in our way. We can be together openly. Isn't that good?
Shut your mouth! Cecilia West is dead! Dead! Cecilia's not dead! She just left because she was angry. It's all because of you, you bitch!
If you hadn't tempted me again and again. He couldn't finish. He knew how pathetic that excuse was. Feeling the pressure on her throat, Isabel finally grew afraid. She struggled and begged for his forgiveness.
I'm sorry. Alexander Warren, please let me go this once.
But just then, a rough male voice sounded from outside. Isabel Clark? Don't think I don't know you're hiding in here. You slut. You spent my money and now you're here with another man. It was the son of the town's factory supervisor. He kicked the door open, took in the scene, and raised an eyebrow.
Oh, so Captain Warren likes other men's women, too. Aren't you about to be a married man? Aren't you ashamed? If you're that fond of it, just pay for it yourself. It's $3 a pop. No need to fight over her.
Jack Miller, watch your mouth. Isabella Clark is a volunteer sent here to help. Don't slander her name.
Jack laughed and shook his head.
Captain Warren, you don't have a crush on this slut, do you? Then your taste is pretty bad. This woman has slept with half the men in the factory for money. She racked up gambling debts a few days ago, then got gang raped by Scarface Tommy's crew.
She only got out of it by pretending to kill herself. Alexander froze. He slowly turned his head and stared at Isabel behind him.
Is he telling the truth?
Of course it's true. The bitch told everyone that whoever pleased her would get a job in your unit-eating government ranch.
You're lying! I didn't! Alexander Warren, you have to believe me!
But Alexander could no longer believe her. Orderly, lock this woman up. His voice was cold, devoid of emotion. Isabel, if I find proof that you plotted against Cecilia, I will kill you with my own hands. Back when I'd left home, I had planned to take the small bus out of town. But the bus got a flat tire crossing the bridge. To catch the train, I hitched a ride on a horse cart. After going a long way, I realized I'd left my small bag behind. When I turned back, I saw the collapsed bridge and the workers busy at the site. When I learned that people thought I had died in the accident, a strange sense of relief washed over me. I even thought it was fate. Maybe disappearing like this was for the best. That way, Alexander and I would have no more ties. I boarded a train heading west. There, I met many young people who had also joined the Western Aid program. Among them was Liam Carter, the son of my father's former comrade in arms. His name sounded like a scholar, but he looked like a real Western tough guy, tall and burly, with dark skin. His laugh was hearty and warm, and he was very passionate. I joined a medical team there and became one of its members. When my parents were alive, they had hoped I would study medicine and heal the sick. Now, I was finally working toward that goal. With my solid foundation and the patience honed by 2 lifetimes of experience, I was accepted into a medical station. Every day, I treated patients, researched remedies, and developed treatment plans. Life was monotonous but fulfilling. But transportation was inconvenient. Sometimes I had to travel to villagers' homes to treat them. One day, I stayed out too late, and by the time I left, it was already dark. On the way back, I felt a creepy sensation all around me. At first I thought it was just the huge temperature difference between day and night. Then I saw faint green lights approaching in the darkness, and my blood turned to ice. Wolves. Without realizing it, I had been surrounded by wolves. Just as I was about to lose hope, a figure carrying a torch rushed toward me. It was Liam. He stood in front of me, drew his knife, and faced the wolf pack alone. The hungry wolves attacked. He slashed and stabbed, killing one after another. The cause was deep claw marks all over his body, and a chunk of flesh torn from his calf. Finally, when he stabbed the pack leader to death, the wolves retreated. We found a cave and waited until dawn. Seeing his wounds, some so deep the bone showed, my heart ached and tears poured down my face. For the first time, this Western tough guy looked flustered. He reached out and wiped the wetness from my cheeks with his rough thumb.
Don't cry. It doesn't hurt. I'm fine. You're contributing to the Western region. It's only right that I protect you.
Looking at this awkward, clumsy big boy, I laughed through my tears. From that day on, whenever I made a house call, Liam put down whatever he was doing and accompanied me. I thought life would go on like that. Until one day, a wounded man was brought to the medical station. When I saw his face, I froze. Alexander lay on the hospital bed, his uniform soaked with blood. The bandages on his head had turned crimson. He had lost a lot of weight, and his pale face looked weathered and worn. He was a shadow of the vigorous young man I remembered. I composed myself, put on a mask and gloves, and worked with the nurses to wheel him into surgery. We operated for 7 hours before his condition stabilized. The next day at the hospital, a nurse told me that he wanted to thank me in person. I thought about refusing, but then I realized that paper can't hide fire. It was better to be upfront. When I opened his ward door, Alexander was sitting up in bed. Hearing the sound, he looked up automatically and went rigid.
You? Cecilia?
His face was a mask of shock.
Cecilia, you're not dead? I must be dreaming, right?
I walked calmly to his bedside.
Long time no see, Alexander.
Alexander realized it was no dream. A wild joy broke across his face. Ignoring his wounds, he grabbed my hand and refused to let go, as if he was afraid I would disappear again. This man, who had been so badly wounded that he almost died and hadn't shed a single tear, now he was sobbing uncontrollably.
It's wonderful. Celia, you're alive.
Let go, Alexander. You're tearing your wounds open.
But no matter how I tried, I couldn't pull free. Annoyed, I raised my voice.
I said let go!
Alexander froze. He released my hand and stared at me blankly.
Why did you come here?
I came to suppress bandits and fell into a trap. I thought you were dead. I wanted to do something for you. To keep you from having another accident like in the past life. That's why
I understood immediately. He had also been reborn. Seeing my reaction, he asked cautiously,
Were you also?
I kept my face blank and changed his dressing professionally.
Don't make large movements. Don't let the wound get wet. Eat light foods.
Alexander's eyes dimmed little by little. As I turned to leave, he suddenly called after me.
Cecilia, isn't there anything you want to say to me?
Alexander, what do you want me to say?
Cecilia, you were alive all this time. Why didn't you come find me? Do you know how I've lived all these years without you? If not for this accident, would you have hidden from me for the rest of your life? Cecilia, I admit I wronged you in the past life, but that was the previous life. Why are you still abandoning me?
He went on and on, accusing me. I had no expression at all. I took a deep breath.
Are you done? Then let me speak. Alexander, in the past life, you wasted 10 years of my youth. Yes, I did love you, but that's all in the past. In this life, you abandoned me for Isabel over and over again, and even struck me. I gave you a chance. I was willing to step aside and let you be with her. So what are you complaining about?
In the past life, he had hated me for 10 years because of Isabel's death.
Alexander, let's part amicably.
Alexander's face went even paler.
Cecilia, I can explain. I was deceiving Isabel too. I thought you had hurt her, so I...
Did you give me a chance to explain? No, and I can even guess that even if I had explained, you wouldn't have believed me. Because I was never in your heart. The moment you could set aside my life or death based on Isabel's one-sided words, you should have understood that I would never forgive you.
I'm sorry, Cecilia. I know I'm a bastard. I'm sorry. I know I owe you too much. Please give me a chance to make it up to you. I promise. From now on, I will love you with all my heart and never let you suffer again, okay?
You owe me a life. How can you make up for that?
Alexander broke down.
I'm sorry, Cecilia. I'm sorry.
I ignored him and left the ward. For the next few days, I deliberately avoided Alexander. Liam, who often came to see me, noticed and asked curiously,
Who is that injured man to you?
I shook my head.
Someone from the past. I don't want to talk about it.
Liam pursed his lips, cleared his throat, and changed the subject.
Cecilia, we've known each other for a while now. Actually, I've always liked you.
Seeing his slightly awkward manner, I wasn't surprised at all. In this world, no one treats you well for no reason. Over the past 2 years, Liam had taken care of me in every way. I had long guessed his feelings. But after being so wounded by love in 2 lifetimes, I had no heart for a new romance.
Cecilia, don't feel pressured. Me liking you is my own business. Don't let it burden you. We don't know what the future holds. Don't let what I said now affect our relationship. Let's just take it slowly, okay?
He was still so thoughtful. I smiled and nodded.
Okay, let's take it slowly.
Days passed, and Alexander's wounds healed. Just when I thought I was about to be rid of him, someone unexpected showed up. Isabel?
Cecilia West, you're still alive?
What's the matter? Are you disappointed I'm alive?
You bitch! You're supposed to be dead! Why are you still haunting us?
She stared at me with venomous eyes, gnashing her teeth.
For the last 2 years, Alexander has finally started to accept me. Why did you have to come back?
I don't understand what you're worried about. If Alexander truly loves you, you will naturally be happy together. And besides, you may pressure him, but in my eyes, he's nothing but garbage.
As soon as I finished, a trembling voice came from behind me.
Am I really that worthless in your heart?
Alexander ignored Isabel and pulled me into the ward.
Can't we go now at once? Or maybe start over? I just beg you, don't abandon me. Without you, I really can't go on.
He clutched his hair and sobbed, heartbroken. He even knelt before me, but I just called the orderly to restrain him, then walked away without looking back. For the man who had hurt me countless times, I could never forgive. That night, on my way back from work, someone in black covered my mouth and nose from behind. When I woke up, I was in a dilapidated house. 2 cursing men stood in front of me. When I recognized their faces, my hair stood on end. They were the same bandits who had kidnapped me in the past life.
You're Alexander's wife, right? Sorry about this. To avenge our dead brothers, we have to rough you up a bit.
I kept calm.
He and I were never married. We have no relationship. Kidnapping me is useless.
You've got a mouth on you.
One of the big men sneered.
We have an informant. She told us that the person Alexander loves most is you. Today, I want to see what Captain Warrenwort will do for his woman.
I struggled, but it was no use. I made up my mind. If Alexander came to save me again, I would rather kill myself than owe him another debt. But to my surprise, the first to come was Liam. While the bandits were cursing, he crept up from behind and attacked. They engaged in a fierce fight. Seeing they were losing, one bandit suddenly lunged at me with a knife. Watching the blade approach, I closed my eyes in despair. But the pain I expected never came. I opened my eyes and saw Alexander, who had appeared out of nowhere, blocking me with his body. The blade sank into his back. Blood poured from his mouth.
Cecilia, I'm so sorry. If I had cherished you, would we have been able to?
He reached up to touch my cheek.
Forgive me if there is a next life. Cecilia, please wait for me.
He couldn't finish, but his arm fell limply. In this second life, he had still died in my arms. Isabel rushed out from where she had been hiding. She pulled Alexander's body from my arms and wept bitterly.
Why did you die for that bitch? Alexander, you damn bastard, you damn liar!
Her grief seemed genuine. Maybe she, too, was just a pitiful person blinded by love. She simply used methods that society wouldn't accept. As I was reflecting, she raised a knife and charged at me wildly. But as she passed Alexander's body, she tripped over his feet and fell to the ground. The knife went straight into her own heart. I stared in disbelief.
Cecilia, I win. Even in death.
I'll go first to be with him.
She closed her eyes slowly, her right hand still clutching Alexander's shirt. Just then, Liam, having finished off the remaining bandits, came to my side and gently held me in his arms.
You were frightened.
I shook my head. Alexander, if there is another life, I hope we never meet again.